Oh, there's a fish. Yes, sir. As I was just saying, maybe the jerkbait is not the answer. There we go. That feels like a better fish too. Wow, reeling. Alright, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So happy to have you here today. Alright, so today's video, we're gonna do a bit of a comparison and even a bit of a competition. So I picked up some fishing kits off of Amazon. Each of these claim to have everything that you need to catch fish. So we're gonna take these 3 kits. I will put pictures up on the screen right here showing how much they each cost and what's supposedly included in all of these. There's 3 different tiers here, so a little more in some kits and less in others. And we're gonna put these to the test. This is all I'm bringing to fish with today. So if they don't have everything needed to catch fish, then they're DQ'd. But I think they actually do all have something I can use. So my plan is this: it's gonna be a mix of time and size to make our comparison. So we will set a timer every time we start fishing with a kit, and once we catch a fish, we will take the size of that fish in, we'll have to see how long it takes us to catch these fish, but it's either going to be in either weight or inches, and we'll deduct that from the amount of time it took to catch that fish. So in the end, the box that's got the lowest score wins. Let's go ahead and get some stuff rigged up. I'm only bringing 2 rods, and I'm just bringing these kits, like I said. So 2 rods, simple setup, bunch of camera stuff, obviously, and we'll see what we get. Stay tuned. Alrighty, so let's take a look at our 3 kits here real quick. First one, we've got the, actually, let's do this in order here. Okay, so the first one we have, Go Fishing Lures Kit. So this is one of the ones off of Amazon. Was not very much money, and obviously just some Chinese kind of knockoff stuff, but it kind of shows you what all is included. So in here we've got a lipless crank, which is red. That's actually going to come in handy. Popper, a little bit of a green jerkbait. That might be a good one as well. Some soft plastics. Everything soft plastic wise in here is really small. So nothing horribly impressive with that. It does have some spoons and like Castmaster style baits, and then it does also have some really small like EWG hooks, like maybe a 1 or 2/0, and some bullet weights in here as well. So and it's even got some looks like it's got some, what is that? Oh, it's like a miniature, oh, it's like a little jig head. So I mean, there's some stuff we could definitely make it work. I actually wonder if we could even tie up a drop shot maybe with some of that stuff. I did bring 1 casting rod and 1 spinning rod today, so I have the means to tie up whichever one we choose. Okay, so for the second kit here, we got this Plusino Fishing Lures Kit, 102 pieces. Best bass lures. Crankbaits, plastic worms, spinnerbaits, jigs, and topwaters. Okay, so right off the bat, this one does have like a stick bait. Underneath that, there's actually spinnerbaits. Ouch, those are sharp hooks. That's fun. There's some little tiny crankbaits, nothing actually of size. They're all really small. I do see some frogs. I don't think that's going to be the play today. My goodness, if I can't stop hitting myself with those hooks. I don't think the frogs are going to be in play today. I think it's a little chilly for them. But I do have some spoons, and same as the other kit, there's some really small EWG hooks here, some little jig heads, so we can actually rig up a little Texas rig. And both of these, all these kits actually have like copper bullet weights. I'm wondering if that's like one of those you know, no toxic kind of stuff, but we'll see. I could actually rig up a weightless stick bait, or I could run like the little swim baits, or there's some options there. So that's not a bad little kit there. All right, last but not least, we have the big kit. So this is the X Black Happy Fishing Happy Life kit. And this one says, features strong and sharp like real fish. Don't know what they're getting at with that one. Not easy to be broken, can withstand heavy fish, anti-corrosive, easy to fish hook, easy to fish by barb hook. Quality is super good. It experienced precision processing. Okay. So obviously written by somebody who does not speak our language, but it shows here. So this is going to be the 48-piece lure set, and there's all sorts of mainly hard baits in here. There's no plastics at all. So this is going to be plastic frogs, topwaters, some little shrimp, some jerk baits, it looks like, maybe some glide baits, lots of poppers, some crankbaits, some blade baits, and that's about it. So definitely some options. So we're gonna get the timer going here shortly. I'm gonna rig up out of this first kit. So we'll start with the small one and work our way up. Out of this first kit, I think what I'm gonna do is, I think I'll try and rig up 2 rods on each of these. So I'm gonna run the lipless crank on the casting setup, and then I'll probably rig like a weightless something plastic on the spinning rod, or I might switch to a jerk bait. I'm not really sure yet. We'll just have to see how the bite goes. A spoon honestly wouldn't be a bad bite at all right now. I really wouldn't mind setting up a drop shot, but I don't think there's any weights that I can use for a drop shot, so not sure if that's gonna work out, but we'll figure something out. So stay tuned, we'll get this rigged up and we'll get back with you guys. So before I get going, I bought these castable thermometers. So we'll see, hopefully these things are accurate. I'm just gonna toss it out. I want to get an idea of water temperature where I'm actually fishing, and so my thought is get it down into the actual fishable columns of water, and more importantly figure out where along this pond is going to be the most ideal temperature. So I'm shooting for like 60 to 65. I've never used these castable thermometers before. I'm gonna laugh if it freaking gets bit. That would be hilarious. So I'm just gonna let it sit there for a minute. But I have a feeling I'm gonna wind up on the back pond again. I think it's gonna be the best temperature, so we shall see. All right, I think that's been long enough probably. Whip this bad boy in real quick, and it shows 55 down there, so that's actually not horrible, but we're gonna keep looking for something just a little bit warmer. Okay, we are about halfway down that first pond, so just take a quick read here. Okay, that guy is showing about the same, 57-ish. So we're gonna keep on keeping on. Alright, we're gonna pause here for just a moment, take another screen temperature grab, because if it's warm enough through here, there's some spots that I definitely want to fish, so let's let that guy sit out there for a while. Look, see what we wound up with here. That was long enough. Showing, oh snap, I hope you can see that. That's showing right at 60. Okie doke, first things first, cut my little thermometer off here. Him back on my bag. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna start here with this lipless crankbait. It is a red in color, which is gonna be perfect for this water temperature. More like a craw color. Red. Oh, it's a good high quality bag there. Make sure that gets back into the trash port there. Okay. So we're set with that guy. Little lipless. Hook him up. The hooks honestly don't feel bad, but they don't feel good either. So we'll see how those hold up. We will be using, so again, I'm trying to figure out here. I think I'm just gonna run basically a little, I think I'm just gonna run it like a really small Texas rig, honestly. We'll do a real light bullet weight, really light EWG hook. You guys can see that's a one, like a 1/0 probably. See if I can get these guys out. So this kit even comes with a spare treble hook. So I don't know if they intended for that to be as a replacement, or if they intended for you to use that for like bait fishing. Not really sure. We'll go ahead and get this bad boy tied up. Now I'm not gonna have a hook peg, unfortunately, on this one, but it should be okay because this is not a very heavy rig, so I don't see it being a problem. Okay, so I think to start with, I'd really like something dark, which now that I'm looking through this kit, it's kind of lacking in the dark. So maybe we'll do this guy. It's a little bit of a kind of a chrome flash, black back, and we'll just Texas rig him. A little bit of a fluke. I was having good luck on these a couple weeks ago out here, so maybe that'll be a player today. It is some real hard plastic, so luckily, hopefully that'll stay together, but something simple like that, that ought to work. I mean, normally you run a fluke weightless, but I think a little bit of weight's not gonna hurt this thing because it's a real small amount, like I said. So I think I'm going to start with the lipless, and then we'll go to the finesse if needed. So let's close this up and get a timer going. All right, so here we go. Starting the stopwatch right now. Let's get fishing. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so this is not the same kind of weight that a normal lipless would be at all, but it's a little on the lighter side, but it should be okay. Luckily, the lighter this bait, the slower you can kind of run it real close down to the bottom, and it won't necessarily snag or grab all the time. Oh yeah. So it swims okay. It's so light, it's hard to not overcast it, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to run them pretty tight to the rock face here. Kind of low in the water column, as low as I can get it without snagging. 'Cause that's the other thing, I don't want to break, you know, I only have so many lures in here. If I break them off, then I'm switching up, and I think I pretty much picked the best lure to start out with, although the jerk bait may work. So this is actually floating. I was not expecting that, to be honest. That's unfortunate. So we actually have to crank it down to get it to run. And when we crank it harder, it doesn't run straight. So That's kind of an interesting predicament. I didn't realize it was floating. So, as I'm thinking about this, I think I'm gonna set a cap of like an hour per box. And my thought is, you know, give everybody a fair shot at it. If you can't catch a fish within an hour on one of these boxes, then it's out of the challenge, and we can come back to it maybe later. But I think that's totally fair for now. You get an hour to catch your fish. I know these baits work because I used them not that long ago in similar conditions. So I think they should catch fish. If they don't, then that's on the box. We're at our second spot. This is looking pretty good. This water's down quite a bit actually, and there's these big boulders showing now, which are not normally up like this. I mean, there's always boulders in the water, but not like this frequency, because it's a little lower, and it's as this starts to taper out towards the center. So it's actually looking pretty good. This is going to be, all those boulders are going to be at a really good spawning depth. It's getting warmer. All right, we're 13 minutes so far. 13 and a half. Oh my goodness. Freaking thing. Slipless is too lightweight, but I'm not counting it out yet. I think there's some potential on this thing. I mean, it doesn't cast too bad as long as the wind isn't blowing. Actually gets out there okay. I mean, it's relatively aerodynamic. I think it's probably time to switch baits here after this cast. Oh, I just got hit. Spoke too soon, I guess. Alright, let's change it up, because we can kind of follow through if they're in that area. We can kind of follow it up with a more finessey bait. They may actually just eat it like you would expect. So let's see. Get this little fluke out. Okay, that was basically right out here. I'm gonna let that sink down just a little bit. Run it like a kind of like a weighted Senko almost. We moved down this spot. There are some huge boulders in the water in here. Yeah. That's mo better. There we go. That's the cast right there. 1 minute left. Are we gonna get the buzzer beater? I don't know. Gotta let this thing sink. That might take more than a minute. Can't wait any longer. I don't have long to retrieve it, so. Alright, unfortunately, we gotta call it quits for now on this box. So, over an hour with 0 bites. Actually, I take that back. We had 1 bite. Let me back up over at the tackle bag and we'll talk about it. Alrighty, so at the moment we spent 1 hour with that first little kit. I was throwing the red lipless, which is apparently a floating bait, and the little fluke style bait, and I got a bite on the red lipless, but it did not hook up. It was just definitely a swipe style bite. So we're gonna, if we end up having to revisit this time frame, right now this box is DQ'd. If we end up having to revisit the time frame for some reason, I'm gonna put that jerkbait on there, because that swipe bite kind of tells me it's gonna be that kind of a bite, but the plastic jerkbait should have taken care of that. So It's hard to say. We'll try it with the jerkbait. Maybe we'll try some different presentations. I might even switch up to a really small soft plastic and just literally let it sink, maybe even weightless all the way to the bottom, and just try and catch those fish right off the rocks there. So we'll try some stuff. For now, we're gonna move on to the second box. All right, so here is box number 2, the Placino, however you say that. Now this one, I've already stabbed myself with this jerkbait several times. So this one's got some options, and I think I'm gonna probably throw this little stick bait. Honestly, oh man, this is a hard choice. Do I throw it on a Texas rig or do I just throw it on a wacky? I think I'll do a wacky. I think we'll do this on the Texas rig actually. Yeah, we'll throw this on a Texas, and then I think we'll throw something, let's see here. Well, we got these little spinner baits. A spinner bait would probably work with our water temps today. Honestly, the spoon would work pretty well today as well. So we may have to give that a try. I'm not sure yet, but for now, I think we're gonna run the Senko on a Texas. And are these curly tails? Oh snap, there's more hooks under there. Oh, and these are slightly bigger too. These are like 2/0. Heck yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll run one of these curly tail guys, little swim baits, on a jig head. I don't know. We just tried that for a really long time, so I'm kind of thinking maybe that's not the answer. Not sure. We'll have to look under here. So let me pull some more stuff out for you guys real quick. Let's just put these on the dirt for now. Okay. So underneath all these stick baits, we've got a little micro jerk bait, little micro square bill. Let's see here, what else? Kind of a walking topwater, another walking top. Actually, you know what? That one's weighted. I bet that's more of a bottom bait, walking bait. Hey, look at this little chrome blueback, lipless. Wonder if that one floats too. And then a popper. And I do have these spinner baits, and honestly, man, it's hard for me to get away from a spinner bait. I like running a spinner bait. I'm just not crazy about these colors, but we may give those a try. I don't know. So that's what we're working with. Definitely going to start with a Senko, because that is like, honestly, it's just such a gimme. So we'll stop our timer and restart, and I think we'll do with the Senko, and then we'll do one with the spinner bait. So that's where we're at right now. I love a weightless stick bait. There's just nothing quite like it. Dead sticking, maybe slightly boring to watch, but it is a fun bite, and it is so cool to see them when they pick it up. Man, I have to retie a leader on here next change up. Alright, so time check, it is 12:02 right now. I think I'm actually going to start with the spinner bait. It's a little strange to me running this on a spinning rod, but it is what it is. I only brought the 2, so that's what we're going to go with. And this may work. This may actually get bit. Oh, you know what I should do too? There's curly tail grubs in there. It would actually make a really good trailer probably. I think I am going to do that. This time of year, it's kind of a toss-up on whether or not you want to run a trailer. At least for me. I think it's hit or miss. In the wintertime, they tend to swipe those baits, so it's like, don't give them something else to hit behind the bait. You know, make them actually commit to the bait itself. But I don't know, sometimes that's what the plastic, you know, looking swimming thing, that's kind of what will help bring them in. I'm gonna switch over to the Senko really quick. So I have a lot of confidence in a Senko. So once I pick this guy back up, I'll probably put a little trailer on him just to liven that one up just a little bit. But for now, so this isn't straight black. This looks like it's black with green flake, maybe some blue in there, so it's not a bad looking Senko. It could probably use a little bit more flake and less colorant, but it's got a good weight to it. So, and this thing, like I said, this is going to be one of those kind of boring to watch things, but I'm telling you, it catches freaking fish. So I'm going to let him sink all the way down towards the bottom of the rocks there. He's still sinking. There we go. Okay, so now we're at the bottom of the rock. So I'm going to pop him up once, just get him off the bottom, and then we're going to dead stick it. So run it like a jerk bait, let our line hang, just do odd pops. And he may run into the rocks again. I mean, that sometimes happens, but what will happen is they'll pick your bait up, and then all of a sudden your line's just gonna like run off. So it's pretty crazy to watch. Just hit the bottom there. Give him a couple twitches. Same thing, just like a jerk bait, really. But you want to pause them for a pretty long time between, you know, 3, 4, 5 seconds, maybe even, you know, up to 10, depending on where in the water column you are. I'm like right at the bottom, so it's kind of pointless for me because I'm just going to hit the bottom anyways. But sometimes it'll help you, so let them sit for a little bit. Oh, there's a fish. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Picked it up sitting on the bottom. Okay. Nothing to write home about, but nothing to be sad about either. And 12 minutes into that box, there he is. Not bad at all. So I think what I'm gonna do, it's tough to say because he's definitely gonna be over 12 inches. So I think we'll go by weight, and it's gonna be by poundage. And once we're all said and done here, we'll deduct poundage from the time in minutes. So right now, box number 2 is in the lead. Let's get a quick weight on him. I'm gonna just guess here. Oh, he's over a pound. Look at that. 1.3 pounds. So 1.3. Yeah, I should have. I'm gonna reweigh him so I can actually lock that in so I can save it. Let's do that really quick. And of course it went down. So now we're at 1.25. That's fine. Okay. 1.25 on box number 2. Not bad. Alright, get a last little look at him. Send him back to the depths. Starting to get a little bit of a belly on him now. Just barely. So they're not too far off. Let's get a good release on them. Okay, figure it out, buddy. There he goes. Or we'll get that kind of a release on him. All right, 12 minutes. Alrighty, so box number 2 takes the early lead with the weightless Senko or stick bait on a little 2-aught hook. So that fish picked that thing up while it was sitting on the bottom. Like I said, it's just totally a toss-up sometimes how they eat these, but dead sticking it no matter what. And same thing, as it was sinking down, it was falling, but my line kept staying tight. So he had actually eaten it on the fall, but hadn't run away with it yet. So as I was sitting there watching it, it was like it never gave slack, like it had hit the bottom. So when I picked it up, I could feel just a twitch, and I just set the hook, and he was there. So box number 2 takes an early lead with 12 minutes And that fish at 1.25 pounds potentially brings that down to 10.5 minutes. So, or 10 and a, well, it's a quarter. So with that being said, we got to move on to box number 3 now. So we are going to cut our baits off here shortly, but let's take a look at what we are working with in box number 3. This is definitely the biggest of the 3. The downside to this one is there is no soft plastics in here at all. So what it comes with is these big bags, and in each of these bags, sorry about the reflection, each of these bags, there's like 10 different hard baits, probably less than that. What is that, 6? So there's 6 or so hard baits. Here's some glides, different colors, but they're all the same bait. So really there's a lot less selection. Look at these glide baits, wow. A lot less selection in here, but there's more color choices. So it's just a totally different style of box. So here's some like lipless style baits, some blade baits. I think I actually am gonna probably tie a blade bait on. That's a great bait for early spring like this. And then these little shrimps here. This is the only plastic based bait, but they're like a pre-rigged bait. They got a little metal wire on them and stuff. It's a strange thing, but honestly, I think this actually may work. So I'm gonna switch it over to the blade and that plastic shrimp. We will rig up and give box number 3 a start time. I'm a little sad I didn't get the spinnerbait to get a fair shakeout, honestly. Oh, son of a biscuit. That was open. Okay, get in there. Well, that'll be fun to clean out. All of the hinges on the back of this thing just broke, and it was just like falling apart completely. So they definitely tried to stuff a little bit too much in this box, I think, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're looking for a lot of really cheap baits, but it will never close again probably, so just keep that in mind. All right, let's rig up some rods here. I'm really okay. I think what I'm gonna do, instead of the blade bait because of the rocks, I'm gonna try these little jerk baits instead. So we'll do that because there'll be a better pause with the jerk baits. So I'm gonna choose, let's see here, I like this one. Kind of a darker hue. So I think we're gonna go with this guy. It's got a black back, kind of a blue, green, yellow side. It's like some sort of little bait fish. And then for the shrimp, I think I'm gonna go with this little red guy here. Maybe the red or the clear. I don't know, the yellow or the red. I think I'm gonna do the red because this really does kind of look like a craw. And this time of year, as those crawfish come up to the surface or out of the mud, which there is a lot of mud bottom in this, they will be red. And that's why the red crankbaits work so well. So here's the rig. It's literally like a pre-rigged Carolina rig almost, like got a little knocker, and it's a strange bait for sure, but I actually think it'll work. Put our trash away. Seagar red label, baby. Big Alberto guy. Jerk bait's rigged. And the weirdest thing is this is in a bass fishing kit. It literally says bass fishing lures. And I don't know about you guys, but I've never once seen a shrimp in my bass fisheries. Alright, so last box is the X Black Fishing Lures box, starting at $12.26. I'm firing right off with the little red shrimp, and I honestly think he's probably going to get bit really quick, so I'm going to toss him right off the edge of these rocks here. I'm just going to let him sink. Similar to the Senko, I'm run him down and just kind of twitch him along, but I want him to make sure that he hits the bottom. Whoa, hooked up on itself. That's kind of strange. Look at that. Unfortunate start to it, and it bent my little lead wire there. I don't know if that matters or not. Try and straighten him out just a little bit. So there's a big rock right here. Oh, I should have known better. Flew too close to the sun. There we go, got him loose. I do want to be fishing down in the rocks. I mean, that's where those fish tend to hang. I just don't want to get my... I don't want to lose my bait. I want to believe that it is cool, but so far it's kind of letting me down. The tangles, I mean, in my head, right, it just should look like a little red craw swimming around there, but I can't hardly get the presentation right. That extra wire on it seems to make it get hung up in everything. I think it's tangled right now even. Sure enough. Golly. I'm kind of getting over that. I think we'll switch it up for a minute. Try something else. I don't know what would help prevent that though. It doesn't seem like that should happen. But whatever. We'll take a little break. Run the jerkbait. Jerkbaits are always good for some slow bites. Don't sleep on the jerkbait, guys. Now let's see. That lipless. Okay, so my lipless was floating, so I was wondering if we were gonna have a sinking jerkbait now. But he still floats a little bit. I'm feeling good about the jerkbait. I'm gonna keep walking down. I think we can get bit on this guy. If we can put him in the right eyeballs. Actually casts pretty dang well. I'd really like to pause it for longer if I could just get them to stay in one spot for a little bit longer, but just have to make do. Cheap jerkbaits are like this anyways. This is not unique to this cheap box. Honestly, this is just all cheap jerkbaits. They don't have a very good suspending rate, I should say. So, let's see, time check. We were at 26 when we started, and we're at 41 right now. So we are at 15 minutes exactly. And we have not caught a fish yet. But that does not necessarily mean that box number 2 wins, because size is still a factor in this race. And that was a 1.25 on that other box, so potentially we could land a bigger fish. Subtract out some time and maybe pull a dub off with this last box. Box number 1, I think he's a fair DQ. We may give him another shot just so I can keep fishing. There it comes. Got him. I don't recommend that. He's not a super fast floater, which is good. Maybe it filled up with water, I don't know. Kind of a slow float, so it could be a lot worse. Just one so far. Jerkbait. Oh man, got bit reeling that thing in. Right in front of me, that's crazy. As I was just saying, maybe the jerkbait is not the answer. There we go. That feels like a better fish too. Wow, reeling it. It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's a nice fish. I don't know if he's gonna take the other one weight-wise, but we'll see. Interesting. Reeling him in. Not hooked very good. It's just got the back. But we got him. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that down his throat. Oh man, that's a... Let me get this hook out real quick first. Gotta grab the pliers really quick. There's a fish down his throat though, already. There we go. So that is, it's 12:48 right now. 22 minutes. Get a weight on them. Okay, scale zeroed. Showing 1.41. Wow. Beats number one by about 1.6 ounces. That's wild, man. 1.6 ounces, but look at the tummy. Starting to get a little fat, but yeah. I don't know if you guys can see down there. He's got a tail sticking out of his throat. So he's been munching on something. I wish I could tell what that tail was. It almost looks like a little baby bass. But I don't know. So, it's good. He's feeding up. Let's get him back. Yeah, slow swim off. There you go. A little more graceful than the last one. Okay, so 22 minutes minus 1.4. Let's see, that'll be 20.6 minutes. So, a clear second place is the X Black Happy Fishing, Happy Life box on the jerkbait that I was literally just cranking. Alrighty guys, so for box number 2, we came up with 20 minutes, 20.6 minutes because of the deduction at 1.41 pounds on that bass. So not a bad fish by any means. Came on this little jerkbait here that I found in the kit, and I was literally just cranking it, reeling it in. He came up and swiped at it the first time, missed it, but I felt him. And so then I was able to throw back in there a couple more times and just swim it right through, and sure enough, he locked up on it. So ended up being able to get that fish in. That's 2 for the day. So here's my plan now. So far, the Placino middle-sized kit is the winner at 10.75 minutes. So I think just for fun, we're gonna pull the first kit back out. We're gonna start a new time, and we're gonna try some different stuff. And if there's something to crank in there, I think we're gonna crank it. I feel like we gave it a fair shakedown with the lipless, considering they're eating cranking baits right now. That should have hit, but let's see if there's something else in that box. Maybe that jerkbait in there. We'll try and toss it around, see if we can get another fish, and we'll just see what time it ends up with. So right now, first place is gonna be the number 2 box, the middle size box, Placino. Second place is gonna be the X Black Happy Fishing, Happy Life box. And the third place is gonna be the, I forget what it was called now, Gowando is gonna be a clear third and technically DQ'd, but we're gonna try. He's got the jerkbait right there in that second slot. I think we're gonna try and throw that bad boy on, see if we can get another bite with this box, because I just feel like it's only fair that we try and catch fish with all 3. Alright. This is going to be the furthest down I go for the day. Otherwise I'll be working my way back. Alrighty folks, that is gonna wrap up that video. Only 2 fish caught today. It is, by the way, March 8th. Alright, so box number 1. This guy right here, the Gopro fishing lures kit. I could not buy a bite with this thing, and I tried. This got actually about 2 hours of run time, so we did our 1 hour, and then after it was all said and done, I tried to go back and just fish that kit again. It was not happening for whatever reason, so that kit I do not suggest. The second place is going to be this guy, the X Black Fishing Lures Kit, Happy Fishing, Happy Life kit. That one, the only downside to it is it doesn't come with an actual hard box, but it did catch a fish pretty quick. We caught him on that jerk bait, and honestly, the jerk bait felt like a pretty good quality bait. It didn't float super fast, but it floated, so that's a downside. But it worked, and you can actually run it like a jerk bait, so I have to give it credit for that. But the actual star of today's show is this guy right here, the Shimano Fishing Lures Kit. And I would say of the 3 kits, this one is by far the most complete as far as types of baits, and I'll just throw that down there. As far as types of baits, it's the most complete in that it's got hard baits, it's got plastic baits, it's got everything to build a Texas rig, it's got spinner baits, it had a diversity of hard baits, including things like spoons. But if I was gonna recommend that you go out and get one because you were pretty broke, I would get this guy. None of these were very expensive, so I couldn't expect too much from them, but if I was gonna go buy one because I really needed, you know, just quick, cheap baits, I would get that Shimano kit, and it actually worked out quite well. So all that being said, that one's gonna take the cake today with a time of 10 minutes and 45 seconds. So pretty quick with the, including that deduction with the 1 pound, 1¼ pound fish. So all of that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned to the channel. We're gonna pick up some videos here. We've got some really cool ideas. Hope you guys have a good day.